This is Dr. John Scharfenberg from Loma Linda University, where I've been professor of nutrition for over 58 years. I want to discuss a little bit about weight control. I've probably done more weight control programs than anybody in the United States. I've done an awful lot of them. I've had as many as 200 one time in a class, which is entirely too many. Now, what do you need to know about it? You need to know that overweight increases the risk of dying from almost every disease we know about. We need to do something about it to prevent it. Now, I did say before that if one exercises, even though he's obese, he has a lower risk of dying than the person who is normal in weight who does not exercise. But the reason people are overweight usually is because they haven't been exercising, okay? So how do you tell if somebody's overweight? Well, there's easy ways to tell. You can pinch between the rib cage and the hip here, and pinch to see how much subcutaneous tissue you get. If it's more than 2 centimeters, that's too big. You know, inches, as much as it should be at the most, okay? Another way is lay down flat on the floor, put a board between the chest and the stomach. If it goes up towards the stomach, you're too fat. Another way, of course, is to step on the scales. If the needle goes out of sight, you're too fat. Well, we've gone to the BMI, the body mass index. That's okay for groups. But for an individual, the waist circumference is probably better. Just put a tape measure, I used to say around a person's belly button, but then I saw people walking down the street with their belly buttons hanging way, way down low. So I changed how I said this. That tape measure should go around the waist, halfway between the rib cage and the hips, okay? Now that should be no more than about 35 inches for a woman and 40 inches for a man. Now I have a little study that was done here. It comes from the Circulation, volume 117. It shows that if a woman's waist circumference is less than 28 inches, that's good, that's ideal. If it goes on up to 30 inches, she's got a 17% higher chance of dying. And if it goes up between 32 and 34 inches, 31% higher risk. And if it goes up to about 35 or more inches, then she's got about 70% higher risk of early mortality. So the waist circumference is a good way to tell if you're overweight. Now, when I have an obese person come in to see me as a patient, what do I tell them? There's 3 things I stress. Number 1, you need to get on an exercise program. Not that exercise is going to lower your weight quickly, it doesn't. But what it does is prevents you from getting the diseases that overweight people get. This is very important. It pulls in your waist circumference before you've lost any pounds. And it's this fat under the subcutaneous tissue here which is causing the problem. The fat that covers the visceral organs, that's the one that increases breast cancer risk, diabetes risk, and hypertension risk, and all that sort of thing. And that's what we need to pull in. The muscle has a higher metabolic activity than the fat. If you exercise, you retain more of the muscle. Now, every time you lose weight, you're going to lose some muscle. But if you exercise, you'll lose less. So you have more of the muscle tissue, you have more tissue with higher metabolic activity. So that's what we need. The second thing I say to all these overweight people is you should set a goal. In the next 3 months, lower your body weight 5%. Now, if you weigh 200 pounds and you need to lose some weight, then 5% means only 10 pounds. That's not hard in 3 months' time. It's 3 1/3 pounds per month. That's doable. So this is not an impossible thing. If you're not willing to do this, then these obese people, we say, plan for your surgery later on. The third thing I say, don't ever snack. Don't eat between meals. If people did that, 2 out of 3 of the overweight people would get down to normal weight without doing anything more. If you just settle in your mind, you're going to only eat sitting down at the dinner table, only at mealtime, that's the only time you're going to eat, not ever between meals, that will take care of most of the problem for most of the people. Now, one thing that happens is after you've lost weight for about a month, you begin to plateau. You don't lose anymore. And that gets discouraging. That means your body says to itself, you're starving me to death. And your body slows down. Your BMR goes down. Your basal metabolic rate slows down. What you need to do then is exercise more to increase the basal metabolic rate so you start going down in weight again. Now, you need to eat the foods that are high in fiber. High fiber diet predicts weight loss. Low fiber diet predicts weight gain. So get the foods that are high in fiber like beans, avocado for the fruits, whole grains. Get the high fiber foods. You should eat more of the foods that are what we call low calorie density foods. They take a lot of space in the stomach, but don't give you many calories. You could eat a whole bushel basket full of cabbage, you'll never gain weight because it takes too many days to eat it. So these are the foods you should eat more of, and the foods that are high caloric density, a lot of calories in a small space, you should eat less of. What are those foods? Those are the meats, the foods that are high in fat. Those are the foods that people like, desserts. More fat in there. That's causing the problem. Be sure to eat a good breakfast and little or no supper. Now, if you have trouble losing weight, and lots of short women do have trouble doing that, the thing that usually always works as a last resort, go on 2 meals a day. Skip the evening meal entirely. Just eat twice a day, and you can usually handle the problem. The weight will come down. Be sure to eat the whole fruit and not the juices. That gives you more fiber, okay? Eat the foods in a natural, unprocessed state. The more we cook in the kitchen, now, you women don't listen to this, but you husbands should know. When your wife goes into the kitchen, what does she do? And she calls it cooking. She adds salt, she adds sugar, she adds fat. She's adding calories. That's just the wrong thing to do, you know. So eat the foods in the natural state where you don't get so much of those other things. What about eating out? People, when they eat out, usually eat a lot more. They took children out to a restaurant and they studied what they did, and they ate almost twice as much when they ate out as when they ate at home. Then, of course, we should get into behavioral change techniques. Overweight people are controlled more by what they see than how they feel. For example, they put these people in a room with a clock going either 1 hour too slow or 1 hour too fast. When the clock said it was the usual eating time, the overweight people ate, even though it was 1 hour short of their usual time of eating. Whereas the normal weight person says, no, I'm not hungry yet. My stomach doesn't say it's time to eat. They don't eat then. When you're going past a donut shop, the donut calls out at you, hey, come get one. You always get one here. And the overweight person has to check how he's going to work so he doesn't pass the donut shop. He's always controlled by what he sees. So there's a lot of behavioral change techniques that we can give people ideas of how to take care of the problem. Now, oftentimes when you're trying to lose weight, you need to be with other people who are trying to lose weight. You may have to change your friends. Get the kind of friends who are thin, they're eating like you want to eat, so that you can lose weight too. So, number 1, get on an exercise program, decreases the risk of dying from the diseases overweight people get. Number 2, have a goal, 3 months lose 5% of your body weight. And number 3, don't ever eat between meals. And mostly the problems will take care of themselves from there on. If you do have any more problems, skip the evening meal and that'll take care of everything.
Hi, I'm Marcy Horonis with Balmar Health. To see more videos with Dr. Schaffenberg in it, you guys should subscribe to my YouTube channel. We talk about a ton of fun stuff like healthy vegan recipes, product reviews, health and beauty tips, and so much more, and I want all of you to be a part of it. Let me know in the comment section if there's anything else you guys would like to see. Thank you so much for watching today, and we will see you next time.